Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about the most technical and difficult stroke in swimming, which is breaststroke. I'm not going to lie, this isn't my favorite stroke and I'm not the best at it, but I've been doing the swimming thing for almost a decade now, so I do have some knowledge and experience that I would like to share in this video, and hopefully we can learn from my mistakes, because I'm almost certain that a lot of these mistakes I'm going to point out are also your mistakes. So I'll also include a few tips and dryland exercises at the end of this video, and things that you can do at home right now to improve your breaststroke kick. So with that said, let's get into the video. So the thing about breaststroke is that most of your speed and acceleration will be coming from a strong kick and efficient glide, whereas for most of the other strokes, speed mainly comes from your arm strokes. This is why I'll be talking about breaststroke kicks specifically in this video, because I've recognized over the years that my leg kicks has been my biggest weakness, and I'm about to explain why. The first common mistake that almost everyone has made at some point is pulling back your knees too wide. So what I mean by that is, if we look at this replay of myself from this angle, you can see that when I bend my knees and prepare for the kick, my knees are simultaneously spreading outwards, and there's a few reasons for this. One is that you just don't know that this is incorrect, or you're not flexible enough at your hip, and later in this video I'm going to be showing you some dry land drills you can do to help with this. So let me explain why this is an issue. I'm pretty sure that I've explained this in a previous video already, that water is around 800 times denser than air. So you're constantly fighting the resistance, and that's what makes swimming so hard. Now if your knees are wide, you're creating a much wider surface area underwater, which increases that resistance you experience and slows you down tremendously. So the proper way would be pulling your feet and bending your knees back almost in a straight line to your body and being as streamlined as possible. Now just remember, everything in swimming is about being streamlined, plus it just doesn't look that good either. You may notice that whenever I talk about swimming, I would always emphasize on keeping your body tight together and being streamlined. So the second mistake goes into that category as well. But now I'm referring to the glide phase after the kick. People often finish their kick and just leave their legs still bent and floating freely in the water as if it doesn't matter anymore. But don't forget that you're still trying to carry the speed you've gained from each kick during the glide phase. So you still need to focus on your streamline and make sure your legs are close together, basically touching. Not only that, you also need to make sure that your glutes, hamstring, and quads are contracted and your legs are completely straight, including your feet. So in sports terms, we call this plantar flexion, as I've demonstrated here on video. So think of yourself as a plank. You want to be stiff, contracted, and absolutely parallel to the surface of the water. The third and last mistake is very common, and I gotta admit sometimes I do this too, which is kicking down. Now I think it's pretty common sense that to propulse yourself forward, you want to kick directly backwards, because that's how forces work. And the issue is, when you kick downwards, you're wasting your energy to move your body upwards, which isn't the goal of your leg kick. I think the main reason why people do this is because your core is not contracted in the water, which leads to your legs sinking down. And when your legs are sinking down, it will naturally kick down. Some good exercises to do for this would be planks, ab workouts, or any other core workouts you can think of. But more importantly, it takes time to build up the water feel and awareness in the water, where you're able to know if your legs are sinking or not. Apart from that, you should also be paying attention to how your body reacts to every kick. If you're not really moving forward, but instead bopping up and down, that could be a sign that you're not kicking directly back. Okay, so here's 4 easy exercises I can do at home with minimal equipment and also without a pool. So now the first one is, you just need a chair. You want to sit on your chair and you just want to extend your legs out as if you're actually floating in the water. Now you want your knees and your feet to be close together, and it doesn't have to be touching, but it has to be close together. And you just want to open up your feet like this. You want to spread your toes out like this, about, I'll say, 45 degrees. If you can do more, then do more, but it requires a bit of flexibility on your toes, on your ankles, and also at your hip. Okay, now the next one is going to be a small upgrade to that one. So you just want to pull back your feet under the chair, spread it apart, and then hook it around the legs of your chair. So let's repeat. You kick, spread, and hook. Now for this, you also want to keep your knees together. You want to keep your feet together when you're actually kicking back, as if you're actually doing the breaststroke kick in water. And then you spread it apart like you would in water, and then you hook it around. So preferably, if you have a chair with a wider leg, then choose a wider leg, because it's going to force your legs to open up wider. All right, next one, we're going to move onto the floor. You want a sort of yoga mat or mattress, because you want something soft. And yeah, so this is an easy stretch. Now it's going to help improve your flexibility at the hip, which is really important for breaststroke kicks. So this is something you want to do quite often if you are trying to improve on your breaststroke kick. And this is something that we used to do a lot in training as well, like almost every day. So you want to basically sit on the floor at a comfortable angle with your feet spread apart. And the goal is you want your knees to be as close together as possible, preferably touching. And you want your toes pointing outwards, and you want your feet as far spread apart as possible. Now, of course, if you're not flexible enough at the start, you can also use one of these kicking boards. And if one is not enough, you can use two. So I'm just going to use one for demonstration. Now you want to put it under your butt to make it a lot easier for you to sit down and spread your legs apart. So something like this. Now, because as you can see, I'm not very flexible right now, so the angle of my feet is not that wide. You want a wide angle at this knee area, at this knee joint. So yeah. All right. Now, lastly, we're going to move on to the wall. Any wall will do. You just want to stand close to the wall, but not actually touching it. You want to be very close to it. So you want to first pull back your legs, your feet, like so, without your knees touching the wall. So you don't want your knees touching the wall. Now you want to spread apart your feet and kick back down. So I'm going to repeat. Pull back, spread apart, kick down. So when you're doing this motion, when you're kicking back or pulling back, you only want to bend from your knees. You do not want your knees to be moving forwards like this. And when you're doing this, you want your sole to be facing backwards. You want your toes to be pointing down, and then spread apart, kick down. So make sure you do a few of these, maybe 10 reps for the stretch. Maybe you can do 30 seconds at a time, and then maybe you can do 3 reps of that. And when you get pretty good at it, you can either spread your feet more apart, or you can do 1 minute at a time. That's what we used to do at training. So yeah, so those are 4 easy exercises you can do at home, and go and practice them, and hopefully it works. With that said, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you've learned a thing or two about breaststroke kicks, and now you just got to go to your local pool, or you can do some of those home drills to help you swim faster breaststroke. So thanks for watching, and bye.